All right. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday, and welcome to this week's Coffee with the Principal. So glad that you've taken the time to join us today here for Coffee with the Principal. It's a little bit different day. We usually do these Fridays, but this week we're doing it on Thursday because today is the last school day of this week. Tomorrow we celebrate Veterans Day, or we observe Veterans Day to honor the women and men who have served in our country's military over the years. So again, there is no school tomorrow. We will have a regular week next week. Whoops. So just a couple of reminders. You've joined the meeting muted. Feel free to use the chat box as needed. We're recording the meeting so that folks can see it later on who didn't get a chance to see it earlier. Feel free to use the raise hand feature if you need to during Q&A, and yeah, we'll take it from there. All right, so there is so much going on, and rather than repeat everything here for another time, I encourage folks to always stay up to date on Class Dojo, where we're posting tons of information about all the stuff that's going on at the school. So some recent updates you may have seen or may not have seen on Class Dojo is that there's some upcoming dental and eye exams that are available for students. Particularly, those eye exams are really important because we want to make sure that they can see instructions. So check out Class Dojo if you didn't see that. Also, a shout out to Miss Loja and other parents who are running our this year's Seas Candy fundraiser. So there is a link on Class Dojo. I believe it's also on Schoology. You should also get it on Blackboard of how to purchase Seas Candy for your family. It makes a great gift for others. It's a wonderful way to celebrate the holidays. And be on the lookout for an online link as well as a physical flyer that your child should be getting to take home. It's not only a great gift, but it also raises funds for the school. We're super excited about that. Additionally to that, Ms. Alejandre is running an online Scholastic book fair where you can go online and purchase books for your child or for yourself or for other kids in your family. They can share with you the details on that, but also it helps raise money for the school as well. Couple other things. Our movie nights is scheduled. Our next movie night is scheduled for Friday, December 1st. That's a little bit under a month from now, but it's the week after we get back from Thanksgiving break, and we're actually going to do it in the social hall at Westchester. Even though it gets darker earlier, we're going to do it inside the social hall because we don't know about what the temperature will be like, and we don't know what the weather will be like. So we hope that by doing it indoor, it'll be A, warmer, and B, it'll be some fun there. So the finalists for voting on that particular movie night are Home Alone and The Nightmare Before Christmas. So they are both Christmas movies, although one of them is a Halloween movie too. But go ahead and go to Class Dojo, and you should find the link to cast your vote for that. And then lastly, we are excited. We are now in, I think, our second full week of having our supplemental after-school program, Team Prime Time. And there is an online form that you can fill out to have your child participate in after-school Team Prime Time. And they provide after-school programming such as we've got a Spanish that'll be starting soon, guitar lessons, an art class, and they're actually working on getting a dance teacher too. So be on the lookout for that. We're super excited about that happening. Just a reminder, Winter Academy is coming up closer than you realize. 3 days, completely optional, December 18th, 19th, and 20th. It is confirmed that for our area, the middle school location for that will occur at Wright Middle School. It's also confirmed that I will be the administrator who's there those 3 days and overseeing those programs. So if you send your child to that, you'll be sending them to me and my team of teachers who have signed up to teach those 3 days. It's usually a combination of Katherine Johnson teachers, Wright teachers, and other middle school teachers from other places on those 3 days. So if you haven't signed up your child already, be sure to do so at that URL right there. All right. one last announcement, and then we'll go to kind of into our main portion today. We are super excited because we're in our third year of partnership with the Empower Institute, which is a wonderful group that you can look up online, but they're here in LA and they provide mentorship opportunities for our young ladies here at the school, specifically our seventh and eighth graders. I keep trying to get them to come down to sixth as well, but they're really focused on seventh and older kids. So at some point today, we may have a representative from Empower join us, but there's always a challenge in scheduling. So she may join us and share a little bit more about that program. All right. So at the last part of this, what I wanted to do is share with you a slide deck that was shared with principals in the Westchester area, the Westchester Community of Schools, just on a survey that U.S. family members are going to get. And so a week ago, myself, as well as the principals of all the elementary schools in the area and all the two middle schools, as well as the high school, were invited to meet on Zoom with the LASD Office of Strategic Enrollment and Program Planning. So they call themselves the Strategic Enrollment and Program Planning Office, or SEPO, because everything in LAUSD has an acronym. And so they shared a little bit about kind of some of the things that they're thinking about for, regarding getting feedback from you all as families here in the Westchester Community of Schools. And so what I'm going to do right now is share with you a brief presentation around some of the enrollment trends here in the Westchester Community of Schools, as well as preview a survey that you're going to receive directly from I think it's going to come from LAUSD, asking you for your feedback. And it's really important that you share your feedback. So let me share with you some of the objectives of this. So again, the purpose of this is to gather a input from members of the Westchester community, specifically to go over some background and some enrollment trends in the Westchester area school, to share with you a timeline of what this office is kind of doing around this feedback, to share with you just kind of a brief overview of what the survey will look like, and then see if you have questions. Very likely I won't be able to answer your questions, but I can certainly, share with you information of folks in this office who are thinking about enrollment specifically in Westchester. All right. So SEPO, again, the Strategic Enrollment and Program Planning Office, they really exist by two principles. They're always exploring ways to improve student enrollment and potentially increase opportunities for students and families within the Westchester Community Schools. An essential component of the plan is to engage with teachers, staff, and families at all of the schools in the Westchester community. And the goal is to better inform LAUSD planning when it comes to within the Westchester community. So right now, there are a bunch of schools in the Westchester Community of Schools. There's a diverse array of resident, magnet, dual language. There's affiliated charter. There's independent charter options. This is us on a map. And we know that families have lots of different choices about where they send their children to school. And sometimes it's difficult to recruit additional students into the community of schools without busing. So this is a lot of the schools here. You can see us, we're here and we're located here, but there's a lot of, our elementary schools listed here as well. And when we think of Westchester, we're really thinking about this area right here. Now, the next slide I was going to show you is just an overall trend for the Westchester Community of Schools. And, what it shows over the period of the last 6 or so years is a general decline in the number of students enrolled at schools in the Westchester Community of Schools. Now, one particular caveat is that this is the data when you smush together all of the schools in Westchester. So individual schools graphs may look different than this, but this is what it looks like for Westchester as a whole. Additionally, this is what happens. This is the graph that you get when you look at the breakdown between grade levels of enrollment in the Westchester Community of Schools. So what you can see along the bottom is each grade level, and what you can see in each part of the bar graph is the number of resident students who are enrolled at that grade level, and the number of non-resident students are enrolled at that grade level. Again, this is all of the schools in Westchester and LAUSD and Westchester combined. So individual schools may be slightly different. So like I can tell you, for example, for us, when you look at grades 6, 7, and 8, it looks like approximately 80% of students in Westchester are at grade 6, 7, 8 are non-resident versus resident. Well, at Katherine Johnson, it's a little bit different because here it's about 65% resident and 35% non-resident. And the reason that it looks like this on this is because we're so much smaller than the other middle school here in Westchester. So this data is skewed a little bit towards the larger school. So again, this is just in aggregate. So here's some of the points. The grade level cohort in Westchester. One thing that is true across the board is the grade level cohort in Westchester drops almost 50% from 5th grade to 6th grade. And then in 2023-24, there were 1,172 in grades 6 through 12. And again, 15% of those were attending their school of residence. Again, ours happens to be much higher. We're kind of an outlier here at Katherine Johnson, but overall, that's what it looks like at secondary. Let's see. So I won't read all of this, but this is kind of what's happening with community outreach. So about a month ago, LA Unified partnered with University of Chicago to survey families in Westchester. And LA Unified is partnering with other community organizations to disseminate a survey to non-LAUSD families who also live in Westchester. Last month, they met with the Region West, and we're in November now, and here's the timeline. So supposedly today, the 9th, you're going to get a survey for all the LA Unified families in the Westchester community, and then families who are not LA Unified families will be sent a survey on Monday. But again, the point is to survey families in the area. And I should clarify, when we say Westchester, what we mean is the Westchester Community of Schools. So that generally includes Westchester 90045, Playa Vista 90094, and Playa del Rey 90293. So when we say Westchester, we mean those 3 areas together. It'll also be shared with the independent charter schools to disseminate to their families. And we'll also share with students and with parents, you already, and teachers and staff as well. And the goal is to have that happen by December 1st, so the week after that. Additionally, principals will schedule and hold meetings with you all, stakeholders, to elicit additional feedback and recommendations for the Westchester Community Schools sometime before December. And then the SEPO team will look at all the data, make some recommendations to, among themselves, and then those recommendations will be presented to Superintendent Carvalho. Who knows what happens at that point? So that's a little bit about the proposed timeline. I will also say that for as long as I've been working at Katherine Johnson, there have always been discussions about, the arrangement of schools, the setup of schools, the size of schools, enrollment trends, all of that. And so what I can say is what this indicates, what this piece shares with me, is that this is the first time in all those years that your feedback and your input has actually been solicited. And I think that's a really, really important part. So you're going to hear a lot from me about reminding you to please complete the survey. Please complete the survey. I'll be bugging you. And here will be the challenge. The challenge is going to be, I'm not going to get the data back instantly, and so I won't know who completes the survey and who doesn't. So it's going to get in, and I apologize in advance. Some of you are going to complete the survey like right away, and then you're going to get a bunch of reminders from me to keep completing it. And I apologize for that. What I try to do is when we do surveys to send it out once to everybody and then identify only the people who haven't done it yet to complete it. So thank you for your patience in that. So here's the thing about the survey. It'll be a 5-minute or less survey. I am not sure what this means to require parent consent. You are the parent, so yep. It'll be confidential. It goes straight to the University of Chicago folks. These are the folks who are actually there who are running the survey. Gentleman by the name of Christopher Campos, and I'm going to put his email in the chat if you have any questions for him. Yeah, it'll come to him. There is a question in the chat about this. It says, will we receive the survey by email? I think you will. I am 95% confident that you will. So if you, let's see, if you live in one of those 3 areas, Westchester, Playa Vista, Playa del Rey, and you don't receive the survey by, say, the time we come back from Thanksgiving, let me know, and I should be able to reach out and see what's going on and help you out. So that's good. So again, actually, no, here you go. Now, here's what it says. It says LA Unified Survey Distribution, Blackboard Connect, and/or school meeting. So actually, I was wrong. You'll get it via Blackboard Connect. So those text messages and those phone messages and those emails that like come from Katherine Johnson, you'll get those regarding this survey as well. And/or school meetings. So I guess they're going to give us a link that we can give to you. So number 1, it will give you ask questions about your experience at an LA Unified Elementary School. It'll give you, it'll ask you questions about your opinions about Westchester middle schools. And then 3, it'll ask you about, the likelihood of attending Westchester secondary schools. Now, I know I'm preaching to the choir here because I think everyone on this call, they have a child who is attending Katherine Johnson, which means you're already attending a Westchester secondary school, but you can think about high school in general as this as well. We can skip that one because that's going to folks who are not in LA Unified. And really, that's all of the information that I have at this time. I really don't have anything other than that. The other person I am going to put in the chat, but I'll put it as well as here, is Eduardo Solorzano. He is the LA Unified contact for this. So Christopher Campos and Eduardo Solorzano are really the 2 folks running the show. But again, if you have particular questions or concerns or thoughts or idea, I would love to hear them. And again, the purpose of this is really just simply, what do you call it? It's getting your feedback as community members, particularly in this. So with that said, I will pause and see if there are any questions about that or about anything else here at the school. Adrienne, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. 2 questions. One on the e-choice, which we received and said we have to respond by the 17th. Katherine Johnson isn't on there. So the question is, if your child is already at the school, you don't have to do e-choice, or what is the situation? Correct.
So if you're so Katherine Johnson STEM Academy is not a magnet school or any of the schools in e-choice. So applying here doesn't go through the e-choices process. Additionally, if your child is currently a 6th grader or a 7th grader here, you need to do nothing. They will automatically continue enrollment into next year.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, yep. Question number 2 regarding the Teen Prime Time. We did receive something, I think, on Class Dojo, it mentioned about Beyond the Bell. So to participate in this program, do you have to be a Beyond the Bell student? And if you do apply, are these lessons 5 days a week? My child gets on the bus, so that would mean I would need to pick them up every single day, which is not something that I want to do. If the lessons are 1 day a week, I'm good with that, but 5 days a week, I'm not so good with that.
Right. So I'll take a stab at your question. So the reason the application includes also a Beyond the Bell form is because Team Primetime is actually operating underneath the umbrella of Beyond the Bell. And so to participate in Team Primetime activities, they also have to be registered with Beyond the Bell. Now, when they're actually participating in the Team Primetime after school activities, they're obviously only in one place at one time, but Beyond the Bell has a record of them because they're the LAUSD organization that oversees that. So that's why the application. In this, your second part of the question is, number of days per week. A couple of things. One is, at this point, I'm not quite sure yet of the exact schedule of which primetime classes are offered on which days. So I can't tell you one way or the other if like say guitar is just once a week or whether it's every day. I don't know the answer to that one. But what I can tell you is that Team Prime Time has something every single day, 5 days a week. And this is a completely optional and completely free program. So whatever you decide as a parent to send your child to, they're not required to attend 5 days of the week. You can decide, oh, I'm just going to send them once a week, or I'm just going to send them on, Mondays and Thursdays. You get to decide that as a parent. It's not like an all or nothing thing. Okay. Did I answer your question?
You did. You were very helpful with it, and something I have to decide as well. And I'm sure if I apply, I'll get more information.
For sure, definitely.
Pull out if it doesn't work for us.
Right, absolutely. You lose nothing by applying.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you. Great question. Other questions that folks may have?
Hi, I have a question about basketball.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so it's kind of similar to the Team Primetime thing. Is that going to be an everyday thing for school? And also, is there a limited number of slots, or is it as many kids sign up? Is there going to be one team or two teams? Because the Team Fire website said that there's two. They have a 6th grade and under and a eighth grade and under division. So I've been hesitant to actually pull the trigger on signing up because I wanted to have all the information and weigh the option between school team versus park team, like been doing years before.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you could elaborate on that.
Great question. All right. So once we start basketball, practices will start likely in January, and practices will occur roughly twice a week. We haven't released a schedule for that because our basketball coach is also the basketball coach for the men's basketball team for Los Angeles. Los Angeles Trade Tech College. So he's looking at his schedule for that, and then once that's set, he'll let us know, essentially which 2 days we're going to have practice here. And once we know that, we'll communicate that with families. But it's not a 5-day thing for sure. I can tell you that. The games are played roughly once we get the start of the season, which will happen probably like late January. The games will happen roughly once per week, and they will occur at nearby schools in the area. So we've had some at like St. Jerome's. We've had some at an independent school in Culver City. We've had some where else? Some other places nearby as well. In terms of the number of teams, so in past years, we have had pretty much exactly the right number of kids sign up to make a team. So we're talking in the 12 kids to 15 kids range. And with that number of players, we have one team and they compete in the league that has, eighth graders and under. If we had, say, 20 kids sign up, then what we would do is we would probably split into two teams and I'd look for a second coach at that point. So I don't want to exclude anybody. So one of the things we're not going to do is we're not going to have, say, like tryouts where some kids cannot play based on skill or things like that. What we will do is have, everyone will have the opportunity to participate in the team. So just for those of you who may be wondering, important deadlines would be Friday. I think it's Friday the 17th. So before we go on Thanksgiving break, I just need the deposit for that, and then the full balance by the time I think by December 15th or something like that, whatever the flyer says. And what that covers is the fire registration fee. It covers a small coaching stipend, and the bulk of it really covers the a really nice uniform that the kids get with a number that they pick and their name on back, and they get to keep it at the end. So that's a really great experience for our kiddos. Great questions.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome. What other questions might there be?
I guess I have one more. If no
Go
one
for
else
it.
has any.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
On the iReady.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm having a motivation issue. Partly because it started as a challenge,
Yeah.
and so challenge made it feel very optional. So it's like,
Yeah.
and then also, I guess the iReady scores were so behind, and since my child didn't start on it right away, at least with math,
Okay.
he's like, well, they're teaching me decimals. We're way past decimals now. Why do I have to do iReady when it's not going to correlate? It's basically his argument is it's not correlating to what he's actually learning. So he's not practicing what he's working on currently in class. So
Got it.
any tips or any
Sure.
help with that would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for helping out with that. Well, let me talk about the reason why we emphasize that. So number one, it still is a challenge, and I'll tell you this, it's optional in the sense that it's not graded and it's not tied to like promotion or retention or anything like that. However, what LUSD has found is that kids who use the iReady program 45 minutes a week in math and 45 minutes a week in reading, those kids tend to make tremendous academic gains, and it supplements them. So there are going to be times when what the kid is practicing on iReady isn't necessarily what they're doing in class, because iReady is really tailored to how that kid did on that initial assessment. And so on that initial assessment, it says, well, the kid's here. So here's a progression, particularly in mathematics, where it goes up a little bit from there. And all we're asking is just 25 minutes a day, 4 days a week. Any way you want to break that down. What I tell kids is, hey, do 25 minutes a week, Monday, Wednesday, math, Tuesday, Thursday, reading. And then by the end of the day, Thursday, you're done. You don't have to do anything else. And even a skill like setting a timer can be a helpful thing. The one other thing I would say is this: we really want this to take place at home. We give the kids a little bit of time to do it on a Monday during their advisory class, but this is really independent practice, and we don't want to take away from our our direct first instruction with teachers, because we know when there's a teacher in the room delivering great first instruction, they're going to learn a lot that way. And really iReady is supplemental. So we're going to keep challenging, pushing the kids. We do have prizes for kids who meet those time thresholds. We give away like free dress passes, and for kids who are like, improving over time, they get like other snacks and things as well. So, I appreciate your question. One of the things that's helpful with like, you know, any sort of at-home homework time is literally just setting a time. And one of those old school, I don't have one, but one of those old school kitchen timers that you wind and you just set and you'd be like, hey, here's what we're gonna do, can be a powerful thing as well. And you can do the fun thing, you know, as soon as you finish.
Sounds good as well.
All right,
Thanks.
thank you. And worst case scenario, I always tell parents this: you can make me the bad guy. You can blame
Okay.
it on Principal Hunsberger. You can say like, "Hey, man, I know I'm with you, man, but this terrible Principal Hunsberger, he's making us do this." You can definitely throw me under the bus.
All right. Sounds good.
Absolutely. Thank you. All
Yeah,
right.
bro.
Is there another question from Adrian? Or is that
Hold on, no, it is for me.
Oh, yes.
Clarification for the iReady, because you said it was based on their assessments. So is every student's iReady work tailored to them?
Yes.
Okay, all right, got it.
Great question. You should have received a family report, I don't know, mid-September or early September with your child's how they did on it, kind of what were the areas they were successful on it, where the areas for growth are.
Yes.
You got that? Okay, good. Yeah, I was
Yes.
gonna say, if you didn't get it, you know, send me an email and we can look it up and reprint it and give it to your child. Great question.
Okay, thanks.
All right, we're just about at the end of our time, but if there's like one more question, I can take it. If not, then we can head on out. If you haven't met her already, I want you to say hi and wave, Miss Loja. How are you? This is Miss Loja. She's amazing. She is a leader in our Parent Booster Club. She's right now working on the See's Candy fundraiser. So she is wonderful. And if you have any questions or looking for more other ways to join in and participate and to partner, Miss Loja is the person to talk to. Now, I didn't tell her I was going to put her on the spot, and I actually don't even know if there's a microphone in that computer that you're using, Miss Loja. But are you able to unmute and just say a few words? I just want to see if that'll work. Well, it rotated you. Is there an unmute button?
Yeah, I'm not on the computer. I'm on my phone. So
We can hear you now. Go ahead. Tell us a little bit about the Parent Booster and ways to get involved.
hi. So the Parent Booster, we're just a good old-fashioned organization to help our kiddos get through middle school at this point. We love to have as many members as we can to help us, you know, become more community oriented and actively involved in the process of just nurturing our kids through this and ourselves as well. Right now we're doing the See's Candy fundraiser. We do the movie nights. The Parent Booster, we provide snacks for the movie nights. And we're looking forward to having some other activities going later on in the year. I won't get into the details of that. Just I would love for you to sign up. The information is, I believe it's on the website. Is it on the website? I know there's a link to Class Dojo. So join us.
And can they email you if they have questions too?
Yes, you can email me.
All right, let me do it. I'm gonna LA Domingue1 at AOL.com. Did I type in your email correctly, Miss Loja? Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. And again, I've put in Miss Loja's email there, right there. And I think, let's see how my coding skills are. This might be clickable. It's not. All right. Anyway, it's ladomingue1 at AOL.com. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a very happy Thursday. And for any of you who either yourselves or have family members who are veterans in the American military, thank you so much for your service, and I hope you all have a wonderful 3-day weekend. We'll see everyone next week for the final week before Thanksgiving break. Take it easy, everyone. Bye-bye.